This week at NASA.
I would like to return and command STS-134.
Astronaut Mark Kelly will remain commander of STS-134. Whether Kelly would lead the mission as scheduled was in doubt when his wife, Arizona Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, was critically wounded in a shooting that occurred in Tucson early last month. Giffords continues her recovery in a Houston hospital.
Her days are filled from the time she gets up at 8 o'clock until after 6 p.m. with 6 hours of speech, occupational, and physical therapy. So she's got very busy days and meals in between. And I started to think about STS-134, about the mission, my crew, the fact that I've been training for it for nearly a year and a half, and considering a bunch of other factors, including what Gabrielle would want me to do and what her parents and her family and my family would like, I ultimately made the decision.
This will be Mark Kelly's fourth trip into space. Targeted to launch on April 19th, STS-134 is a 2-week mission to the International Space Station and the next to last scheduled flight in the Space Shuttle program.
Slow down when we get 3 feet out and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
The newest member of the STS-133 crew continues training with his 5 Discovery crewmates for their upcoming mission to the International Space Station. Steve Bowen, a veteran of 2 space flights, replaced Tim Kopra as Mission Specialist 2 after Kopra injured himself in a bicycle accident. Bowen joins Commander Steve Lindsay, pilot Eric Bowe, and mission specialists Mike Barrett, Nicole Stott, and Alvin Drew on STS-133. Together, they'll deliver and install the permanent multi-purpose module, the Express Logistics Carrier 4, and provide critical spare components to the ISS. Space Shuttle Discovery awaits them at the Kennedy Space Center's Launch Pad 39A after riding the 3.4 miles from the Vehicle Assembly Building atop its giant crawler transporter. Meanwhile, NASA engineers and technicians at the Marshall Space Flight Center continue their investigation into those cracks found on parts of Space Shuttle Discovery's external tank. The first of the cracks were discovered during STS-133's failed launch attempt last November 5th. New test data are improving confidence that the repairs already completed on more than 100 of the ET's so-called stringers have Space Shuttle Discovery ready for her February 24th targeted launch date. The 21-foot-long metal stringers connect the cone-shaped liquid oxygen tank on top with the oblong liquid hydrogen tank on the bottom.
Our testing is going to make sure that these stringer repairs are at least as good as the tank was, as it ever was.
STS-133 is the final scheduled flight for Discovery before it's retired.
And now, centerpieces.
Scientists working on NASA's Kepler mission announced they have discovered more than 1,100 planetary candidates in the Space Telescope's field of view. The findings are based on the results of observations of more than 156,000 stars conducted between May and September of 2009.
Now these are candidates, but most of them I'm convinced will be confirmed in the coming months and years. That's more than all the people have found so far in history.
Among the 1,100 planet candidates, the Kepler science team has found 54 that are orbiting in their star's habitable zone, a region where liquid water could exist on the surface of a planet. 5 of those candidates are near Earth size, and the other 49 range in size from twice the size of the Earth to larger than Jupiter. Ground-based observatories and NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope will be used this spring and summer to help determine if these candidates can be validated as planets. Not only is the Kepler team finding individual planetary candidates, they are also discovering some of their first multi-planet systems as well. They have detected 86 potential planetary systems that may have 2 or more planets. One system, named Kepler-11, has been confirmed to have at least 6 planets orbiting a Sun-like star.
The Kepler-11 planetary system is amazing. It's amazingly compact,
It's amazingly flat. There's an amazingly large number of big planets orbiting close to their star. We didn't know such systems could even exist.
Scientists are excited that the number of planetary candidates discovered in 4 months' worth of data shows promise that a relatively large number of planets may exist in our galaxy.
Think of this high-tech tinker toy as a giant recycling effort, literally. Engineers at NASA's Langley Research Center recently dug the pieces out of 6 crates that were in storage. The struts and nodes were from a research project done back in the early 90s.
You want to put it in like this?
The 315 struts and 84 nodes are part of a space structure concept for a large orbiting telescope, almost 46 feet in diameter. The idea was to design a lightweight and compactly stored configuration that astronauts could easily put together during a spacewalk.
The structure we have behind me was called the Precision Segmented Reflector. It's a 14-meter diameter. It's the primary support truss for the mirrors, for the primary mirror of a telescope.
What was once a project for humans will now become an experiment for robots. Langley Human Robotics Systems researchers are working with the Goddard Space Flight Center and a university to see if machines can build the truss system.
West Virginia University and Goddard are starting to do research in robotic assembly and robotic operations in space. They have a huge facility. It's beautiful, it's new. They've got a big flat floor with a shuttle arm. They've got 3 or 4 other robots. So we decided it would be very nice to ship them this hardware.
But first, the humans used Langley's airplane hangar, the only place with enough empty available space indoors, to assemble the massive structure. That way they could ensure their robot colleagues a state away would have all the pieces they need to try to put the puzzle together.
This AJ-26 rocket test engine was removed from its test stand at the Stennis Space Center after 2 successful firings convinced engineers that a third was unnecessary. The Aerojet A-26 will power the first stage of Orbital Sciences Corporation's Taurus II, a rocket that's scheduled to start delivering commercial cargo and supplies to the International Space Station beginning early next year. Under NASA's COTS, or Commercial Orbital Transportation Services program, Orbital is slated to conduct 8 cargo missions to the ISS. The testing of the actual flight engine is scheduled to begin February 7th. And that's This Week at NASA. For more on these and other stories, log on to www.nasa.gov.